All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our February edition of our NMD Masterclass. Now, tonight I'm going to get into some pretty nitty-gritty stuff. So before we get started on this, I just want to pre-frame, right, that these kind of trainings, they're not really for people who aren't really sure if they want to succeed yet. They're not there for the people who are a bit like, oh, you know what, I kind of like this opportunity, but I kind of like my day job too. This kind of training is for the people that are like, hell yes, I love this opportunity. I am in, and I want to be able to turn this into a six-figure income. So when I'm going to be going, yay! So when I'm going to be getting into bits and pieces, if you start to feel overwhelmed, just know that this is next level shit, all right? Perhaps you need to work a little bit more on the skills underneath first, and that's totally okay, because this can be sometimes a little forceful. And I don't like to be super forceful with the business, because I know you guys are all very mature adults, you're all very capable adults. So if you pick it up, you pick it up. If you run with it, you run with it. All right? Let's just pre-frame that, because I'm going to go in tonight and I'm going to talk a little bit about sacrifice versus reward and treating this business like a business. Now, like I mentioned as well, I understand that for the Kiwis over there, it's late. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. at night. So sometimes getting this kind of dense training at that time, it's not about commitment anymore. It's about, is it practical to take it in right now? Perhaps it would be better to watch the recording tomorrow, and that is totally fine with me. You're not going to catch any judgment, because like I mentioned, the people on here tonight, you guys are the capable ones. You're the ones who are going to run this business like a business. So when I talk about sacrifice versus reward, I want to be really clear on this. I'm not selling any smoke and mirrors. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, work really hard just to make me money. All right, that's not what this is about, because frankly, and I say this from my heart without sounding like a bitch, I'm going to work this business to the day I die. It's not about you guys making money off me, for me making money off you guys. I will find people who will work this. I will find people who want to run with it, because I know that it's a vehicle that works. Okay, so when I'm telling you sacrifice versus reward, I'm not setting you guys up for all this hard work in just to grow my business. I'm setting you up with all the hard work to know that eventually you will have a business like mine, and you'll get to be able to have the freedom that I've had, because it's damn good. It is a really nice level of living, and that's where I want people to be at. I want them to realize that you're here for yourself right now. You're here to be able to invest and be able to create a beautiful future for yourselves, because it's absolutely possible for every single person on this call if you believe it is. Okay, so when we talk about sacrifice versus reward, I want to be really honest with the fact that this business doesn't just build itself. There is so much stuff out there, and this is why I say smoke and mirrors, because there's a lot of stuff that can get put out inside network marketing. I want to hope that the majority of our leaders don't do it, but inside network marketing, where it's, hey, it's a great business model, it just builds itself. All you have to do is pay $160, take a product, and share your journey. That's it. If I'm honest, that'll earn you maybe a couple of $100 a month on a great month. If you want to be able to create a six-figure income from this business, it takes intention, it takes focus, it takes dedication, and it takes a little bit of sacrifice. And I want to touch on this tonight, because from a perspective of a mum, for so many of those first years, I beat myself up thinking that I was pushing my kids aside, feeling that, my house wasn't clean because I was on a training, or my kids were watching too many movies while I was on calls or returning, texts. Because life before Juice Plus, I hardly ever had my phone on me. When I came across this opportunity and I got really excited by what it could be, I started to spend a lot more time networking. I started to spend a lot more time in conversations and a lot more time on my phone. And at the start, because of the contrast, I beat myself up a lot. But I want to let you know now, I can wake up in the morning. I normally check my phone in the morning, but then I can go all day and spend the entire day with my kids without even picking up my phone once. The beauty of it. My business is still building itself in the background. And this is what we talk about: sacrifice at the start for the reward at the end. Of course, there's days now, like today, Monday's my favorite day because I just slam myself into work. It's the one day that I'm just like focused, building my business 100%. I don't have to worry about homeschool, don't have to worry about me, I don't have to worry about Rob. So it's a total business. Can you imagine having a 6-figure income and working 1 day a week? That's the reality of the reward. Okay, of course, in stolen moments, I'm replying to you guys, and I do our event on Tuesday nights, but the reality of the reward is so very real. So if you're in the sacrifice zone right now, know that it's temporary, but it is necessary, because building your business to launch off the ground, it takes a lot of momentum. It takes a lot of chatting to people. It takes a lot of phone calls. It takes a lot of texting and replying and following up. And sometimes that can be exhausting and you think, I can't do this forever. You do not have to, but you have to do it. Does that make a little bit of sense? Now, in order to help that period, I want you to really understand, where am I taking this bloody thing? Where am I taking it? What does my reward look like? What does my ideal life look like? You know, and the beauty of that is that it's going to look different for every single person on here. But if you've got your notepad and your pen there, I want you just to take a tiny second. I'll give you a couple of minutes, and I want you to write down, where am I taking this business in 5 years' time? All right, it's the 4-year career. So you imagine, if you have sacrifice for a couple of years, you'll have momentum for a couple of years. Then on the 5th year, your business is pretty much just gonna be cruising, proper cruising. And I want you to think, what does life look like? How much money is in your bank account? How many hours a week are you working? How many hours are you spending with your other half? How many hours are you spending with your children? How many hours are you spending doing your passions? Spending time with the people that you love, like those beautiful Juice Plus training people down there in Tasmania at the moment. Have a think about it. What would be the monthly figure that's landing in your bank account? What would that figure correlate to? What changes would happen in your life? Perfect, Vicky. I love these. So why this is so important, guys, is because a lot of people, and don't get me wrong, these are beautiful goals. What I'm here to do is I'm here to deconstruct them, and I'm here to help you make them so strong that the sacrifice, fuck, give it to me. I will take the sacrifice if in 5 years you can build this. Okay? Own your own home, $10,000 a month on the road. I'm loving those. All right, but it's not deep enough. To me, they all still sound like a wish. I want you thinking about, all right, Monday, right? It's a Monday morning. In 5 years' time, have a think about what your Monday looked like today. What happened? Did the alarm clock go off? Did you stress out? Did you have to get the kids to school? Was it a shit fight? What happened? Did you go to work? Did you look at your bank account, feel sick? Did you get bills that made you feel stressed out? Vicky, you're not counted because Monday's your day off. Think about tomorrow. Think about tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? Were there aches and pains from stress? Were there headaches? Was there anxiety? Where was the depression? Where was the angst in the relationships? Where was the tension? What's going to happen in 5 years' time? When you wake up, what's going to happen? Do you wake up at your own time? Do you get to wear whatever the hell you want? Do you get to roll out of bed and make your family breakfast without any stress? Do you get to pick your work hours? Do you get to go, you know what? Today I just want to take my kids to the beach. I'm going to cancel all my calls and I'm going to go spend that quality time with them. Do you get to look in your bank account and be like, holy shit, this is a good life? Do you get to look at your beautiful home and all the things in it and be filled with gratitude? Do you get to look back at your past self and think, I'm so damn proud of you for putting up with that sacrifice? There's going to be little bits and pieces in there that go so much deeper than just owning your own house or being on the road. Because even though they're beautiful goals, to me, they're not actually a reward. Does that make sense? The reward is not having a boss. The reward is having the financial freedom to be able to jump in a plane and go see your family for their birthday. All that kind of stuff. All right. So when we talk about the reward, I want you guys to get really clear on it. Now, if you're in our Mojo Movers or the group that we're turning into the Comeback Challenge, we're going to be focusing a lot on manifesting this week. Now, why I believe that manifesting is so important, it could not, it doesn't have to be in the spiritual realm. If you're not spiritual, that's absolutely fine. But your thoughts create your reality, whether we're talking about manifesting or not. If you're inside your head and you're being judgmental and you're thinking about things and you're being limited and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to have a great reality opposed to somebody who is constantly optimistic, who's being hopeful and full of gratitude. Their reality is going to be much nicer. It's going to be a much better place to live in. So when we put that in retrospect with these type of things, I want your mindset to already be thinking of the reward. When you slide into sacrifice and think, fuck, another dumb conversation going nowhere. Another person telling me they're not ready or it's too expensive. Yeah, when your mind starts to think there, that's when you need to jump ahead and you need to think of those 5 years and you have to push through and you have to go, it's worth it. Because otherwise, if you're still in the shit bite, right? If you're still in there turning up to a boss you don't like, going to work, listening to drama, having chaos, feeling stress, feeling tension in your body, if you're still there and you feel like this business is just giving you more of it, you're not going to turn up. You're not going to want another thing on your plate. But your focus and what you're creating of the business is the wrong thing. You're creating the sacrifice and you're focusing just on that rather than focusing on the reward and where it's coming and where it's building. And two, we use the ship in the night. If it doesn't have coordinates, it's never going anywhere. It's just going to get battered around with the wind. If you're a ship in the night, you might not be able to see anything, but you know where you're going, you will get there. So having a really clear reward is not just smart, but it's a great business plan. Okay? So what I want to talk about there is know that you're worth it, know that it's worth it, and know that you're capable. There is no one on here, no one, because I know there's no one in my team who I look at and go, oh, you did wrong. You shouldn't have signed up because you'll never make it. Never. Never. Because I've had so many diverse conversations with leaders who have made it that I know, hand on my heart, that absolutely anybody in this business can succeed. Anybody. From all different backgrounds, from all different walks of life, anybody can succeed and create that reward. The only thing that's different is their mindset. They don't give up on a bad day and they just keep going. They know where they're going. Okay? So that's the first thing I really want to highlight tonight. And again, too, like you can throw all this on a brand new teamie. I don't think they're really going to get it. This is more for you guys who have made the decision that, okay, cool, I get this, I like this, I understand the structure. Now let's go. Okay? I love that, Lonnie. Exactly. I love that. Who's Oppo? I don't know. I can't see ya. Let me know who it is so that I can get it. But that's the thing. Sacrificing. Good, beautiful. Sacrificing is already happening in the life that you've settled for. Whether that be turning up to work, turning up to, a boss that treats you like shit, whatever it could be. Lack of financial success, anything. Sacrifice is already happening. You've now been given a ticket to be able to create success. So understand that it's worth the push. Cool. So the second thing that I want to tell you, and this is to ease any mum guilt as well. Linda said this to me very early on in my days when I was feeling flustered, and I'm so bloody glad she did. I said, I just feel like I'm not creating balance. And she said to me, balance schmalance. It was one of my favorite things that Linda has ever said to me, because she said, you're growing a business. You're not going to have balance, baby. And I was like, oh, I was setting this expectation on myself that everything should be balanced right now. I see all these people and we talk all the time about life-work balance. I was not balanced. I was building a business in every stolen moment that I could. And I was trying to be the best person that I could. I was trying to be the best mother that I could. I was still showing up to my normal jobs. And I was feeling a little bit chaotic. And it was really important for her to say to me that, because it put this real expectation, a real expectation on myself that what I'm going through is normal. Life's not going to look perfect. I'm not going to feel like I'm winning at everything. Some days are going to be hard, but the reward, so worth it. Because the balance on the other end of the spectrum is almost too good. Denise will probably be able to back me up on that one. And so many of the other leaders that I've got, we're at the stage now where the balance and life is just so fucking amazing that it's hard to even push anymore because you're just so damn comfortable. It's just so nice and life is so great. So the balance will come, but you can't expect that in the early days of your business when you're really putting the foot to the floor and going, okay, I'm going to build this. Because if you're building wide, you're finding team, then you're building leaders, you're helping them, you're still finding team, and then you're building leaders and you still got customers in the mix, right? And then you've probably got to work, you've probably got a partner, you've probably got kids, you've probably got, other hobbies. Balance isn't going to happen. Just be really productive in stolen moments. And I'm going to talk to that a little bit more down the bottom there, because you need to be at least on the game when you are building your business. You need to be intentional at certain parts so that you're actually moving forward. Because the other thing is if you've got so much happening and you just feel like you're doing a little bit of everything, you'll feel very busy, but you'll only be a little bit good at everything. Does anybody else feel like they've been at that stage in life? Yeah? Me too. So what I found was really good there was Linda's analogy of wearing the hats. I swear you guys must know that I love Linda. Linda is my absolute mentor and one of my beautiful friends, because in the business, you need to have people that you look up to, because when you're in the trenches, it's a little bit hard. All right? So she's mine. She was my goal. And I tell you what, I've still got a long way till I can get to that level of freedom, but I am building up for it. So her analogy of the hats is just choose one hat at a time. So instead of having the mum hat, the wife hat, the employee hat, and the entrepreneur hat all on at the same time, just pick one. Is tonight your mama bear hat? Are you going to put away the phone and sit down and watch a movie with your babies? Is right now boss babe hat? Like, you know what? I have 15 minutes to work this business. Nobody's coming near me. I'm not focusing on getting you a snack right now. I am working my business, because that's okay too. They're not going to die in 15 minutes. All right. How resourceful my kids have gone because I give them this look. Like, can come in here right now. I am on a call. They know it. They go and just do their own thing now. That's my boss hat, right? You're in the wrong zone right now. This is not your mama bear. This is the person who is running a business. And they can tell the difference. Do you have a partner hat? You know what? Because every hat brings out a different persona in you. Rob doesn't like boss hat. He doesn't deal very well with it. Okay? We often get into arguments and I have to realize, okay, work's finished. I can't coach him and I can't tell him what to do. I need to reverse back and just be a wife right now. Okay? Same's with the kids. So when you're trying to do too many things at once, chaos is happening and you're not really getting solidly done anything. So while balance is schmalance and it goes out the window, it's also great to have a little bit of focus on, okay, well, what's my main priority right now? What can I do really well right now? And put all your eggs in that basket for as long as you can until somebody comes and really desperately needs a snack. And then, okay, now I'm back to mum hat. Okay? Now, the third thing that I really wanted to talk about was treating it like a business. Now, people throw this out there all the time, but tonight I'm going to give you a few key questions that I want you to deconstruct that's going to show you exactly what your business is going to look like. All right? Now, making the decision that this is no longer a hobby. This is no longer your little side hustle. This is your plan A. Even if it only is this big right now, you need to make the decision that it's your plan A and that in the 5 years, it's the vehicle that is going to create the reward for you. We've talked about it so many times on training, but it's that making of the decision that creates the business. So we need to decide right now that this is your plan A. This is going to create you the 6-figure incomes and you will be standing on the stage being presented your NMD. It's just happened. Now, in order to do that, it can't be a hobby. You can't be running this, when you feel like it. You have to be employing yourself and turning up every single day like this is a business. If you bought a Subway franchise for, I don't know what they're going for now, I'm going to guess around about 300,000. If you were to buy a Subway franchise, do you think you'd just go, you know what, I've had a really big day today. I just don't feel like I'm going to go to work tomorrow. Would you just not open your doors? No, you'd still turn up. You'd still get it done. You'd still open the doors. You'd still go through the motions. You would still be there. Now, it's the exact same without the 300 grand. It's all still sitting there, so you don't have to pay that back one day. You can put it straight back in your pocket. Sometimes I think that is the biggest disservice that Juice Plus has done. And if I'm honest, when they bring in that $50 weekend where we all go crazy and get super excited, after having a couple of them, I actually think it's the worst thing that could have happened. People don't take it seriously. $50. What's $50? People don't even take it seriously when they pay $150. Yeah? So understand that what you did buy was an absolute steal. Now employ yourself and turn up every day and go to work. So work out for you, well, what is my roadmap of the week? Have a little chunk of, all right, well, on Monday, I like to do like pre-AM, so kind of before work or before you get to school, AM, PM, and after hours. They're my chunks. Right, now you can break them down pretty honestly. You can say pre-AM, gym time, or pre-AM is my sitting with a coffee because I don't do anything. My brain doesn't work then. Get honest, okay? And map that out all week. AM, what am I doing? Can I fit in half an hour of work there? Can I fit in half an hour of following up, half an hour of connecting? Now, I don't have it on me now because I don't do this anymore, but when I was building my business and I was still at work, I would map out my work hours, and I'd map out the hours that I had beforehand. And I'd honestly map out my mum time as well, my time when I wasn't working, because that was important, my time off my phone. Because for me, it was much more easier for me to have time off my phone than time on my phone. Does that make sense? It was easier for me to say, okay, tonight is a no phone zone, than say, these are the hours that I have my phone, because I was always building. But block it out. Block it out in chunks. Well, you know, like Monday after hours is a great time for me because the kids are in bed. I can catch up on all the trainings and I can, you know, add as many friends as I can. The next morning, what's another high paying activity I could do in that chunk that I've got in the morning? I could follow everybody up. And I would break it down into the 5 high paying activities. So if I had a half-hour chunk, I wouldn't get lost on anything else. I wouldn't get lost scrolling on Facebook. I wouldn't get lost doing anything because it would just be a pure follow-up half an hour. So I would go through everybody in my notebook and I'd say, who do I need to follow up? So I'd be very intentional on where my time was going in that stolen moment. For the next day, let's say I had half an hour chunk here. That would be, okay, well, that's my half an hour connecting time. So in that half an hour, I'm just designated to connecting to people. I'm just going through, I'm starting new conversations, I'm doing all that. Now, I should have done that around the other way, because it's always important to connect earlier in the week and have your follow-up portion towards the end of the week. Because then that way you can go, oh, I'm so sorry, I've just been flat out with work this week and building my business, and, you know, sorry, it's taken me a little while to follow up our conversation. How's things been? Blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? And then, of course, customer care is another one. The events and training was another one. And sharing. So today, generally I used to do this on a Sunday because I'd start work on Monday, but since Monday's my work day, I schedule out 2 weeks worth of posts. Now this is for my business page, but I used to do it for my personal page. Even if I couldn't specifically post them then and there, I would schedule out, okay, well, today I'm going to put something about my kids. Tomorrow I'm going to put something about the program. The next day I'm going to put something about how I love my online work. And I would just give myself a real little brief guide, so I was feeling like I was actually getting on top of things and not constantly chasing my tail. Now, having this schedule and having it actually mapped out, it's your coordinates of the bloody ship. Do you get that? It's okay, well, we're going one day at a time and we're moving towards our destination. If you don't know what you're doing every day, it's very easy to feel a bit messy. It's very easy to feel like you've got too many hats on. Now, the beauty of this business, things change. You can be flexible. You can get some extra time and you can spend another hour during the week connecting. You can be sitting on the toilet. This is Denise and I. And Lauren was like, ew, I never take my phone to the toilet. Denise and I were like, how the fuck did you build the business? But, you know, literally, like, okay, cool. I've got 5 minutes. I'm going to sit in here. Kids are quiet. I'm just going to message people. I'm going to go through people I might know that Facebook tells me, and I'm going to add them as friends. Stolen moments, of course, are going to add to your workload. I'm not just saying that you can get away with having half an hour chunk every day. There's still going to be moments where you're replying back to team and all that kind of stuff. But having those little moments of designated time is really helpful for feeling like you're getting on top of things. So, you know, get a little calendar, block it out. You could write it out with a ruler. You could print it out, put it on your desk. I don't care, whatever you do. But just understand where your blocks are, where your chunks are, that you can feel like you're getting on top of things. Okay, so my questions here. This is where we really get looking at, are you treating it like a business, or are you still just running a Juice Plus franchise? And I say that in the most respectful way possible because I absolutely love Juice Plus. But just running a Juice Plus franchise isn't going to create you a 6-figure income. There's got to be more value. There's got to be more you inside what you're doing to be able to create a 6-figure income. People will buy into you, not the product. So when I ask you this question, I really don't want you to overthink it from a marketing perspective. I want you to think about it from here, because this is you and this is your gold, and this is what's going to create your NMD business, which is different to everybody else's on here. If you were to take this business up a level, who would you impact? Who would it be? I don't even want to pre-frame who it might be because I want you to start thinking about it. It's interesting because I'm even thinking, if I was to take this up a notch, who would I impact? Who would I feel really excited to help? Who would I feel really excited every day turning up, knowing that I was making themselves? Exactly. Well, this is where you might have to meditate, my darling. Have a meditate, have a zone out, have a little time with just you and a journal, because it's in there. And the only reason that we don't know, and the only reason that we stop trusting ourselves to know, is because we've spent too much time up here. We've spent too much time conditioning, too much time thinking about other people, too much time doing everything. To me, my real zone of genius in this business was when I decided that I was going to make this spiritual. I was going to stop being mainstream. I was going to own the soul project. I was going to own how crazy and hippie I was. And I was going to create something that was for my people. Now, that was kind of unheard of back when I did it. At the moment, it's a bit of a flavor. I'm smart, right? I knew I was onto a winner. But now you see a lot of people talk about consciousness, a lot of people talking about awakening and, you know, moon cycles and all that kind of stuff. When I first started, that was not to be talked about. It was just diets. Even the mental health component was not talked about. So sometimes you've got to be brave. You got to get out there and think, well, what is it that really makes me different? Yeah, absolutely. Empty nesters. I love that one. That's a huge one. So bullshit. Bullshit, woman. You have so many people that you can impact. So many people. I can't wait to get you to game plan. But in saying this in the most beautiful way, because Sue was probably just the most brave one to actually type it, because I'm sure there's other people there that are thinking it. But I want you guys to think, if you can't impact people, or if you don't believe you could impact people, what are you doing on an NMD call? Because to hit NMD, you're gonna have to impact people. There's something inside your consciousness that knows you can freaking impact people. It knows that you're here to do something different. Have a think and have a little bit of a look. Like, if you could donate money to anybody right now. Oh my God. What do you want? Do you want to come say hello? If you could donate money to anybody right now, this will be a really big indicator of who might be your impacting tribe. Who would it be? Would it be single mums? Would it be wildlife? Would it be your church centre? Would it be, you know, like foster care? Would it be, I don't know, so many different things. Your older kids, is that who you give your money to? Well, have a think. Cool. How many other mums wish that they could give money to their kids? There's the people you can impact. You love volunteering. What do you love volunteering? I'm just going to put the dog outside because he's definitely not. Girls, dog's yours now. Where do you love volunteering your time? Who makes you feel the shiniest? Mental health services. I love that. Addiction services. So much support. So much support. So I want you to have a think now, and this is where we're going to start turning our marketing hat on. If I know the people that I want to gravitate towards to eventually be able to help them with my gift, you know, whether it is people feeling lost, whether it's people grieving, whether it's people feeling hard done by, whether it is people with disabilities, people with drug abuse problems, whatever it is. Where is it? Who do I really want to be able to help? Where can I market better? Where can I build better connections? Where can I find these people? How can I build a program in the future, 5 years down the track, to support them? I don't have to do it. I can be resourceful and find other people around me, but how can I eventually add value to them? Because what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to show you that this tiny little Juice Plus business that you've got right now, this is where it's going to end up. It's going to open up like the most gorgeous tree, and you get to create that from a seed. You get to say, that was it. Look at the soul project for me. That was what it was. It was coming out and saying, you know what? I want to help people who actually really want something, who know that there's something better for life, but they just don't know how to get it. I want to help people build a next level life. That's my tagline. A lot of the program and stuff that I've done, that's not just me. That wasn't my hard work. That was me connecting and collaborating with people who were on my vibe, who I attracted in the first place, and we created some beautiful stuff together. So it doesn't have, don't think about it as hard work, because it's not, but I want you to think of, what is this business going to build into? If you could really create something, what's it going to build into? Is it going to be creating a fund to build a village in Africa? And I'm getting a whole bunch of people together who are working on that, who are running their businesses, who are donating to a program or whatever it could be. What is it that you really want to be able to make from this? Oh, I love that, Deb. Absolutely. Now I'm going to go into deeper on that. I'm glad Tan's touched on it, because when I first created the Soul Project, I had in my mind, I'm going to find a whole bunch of hippies. I'm just going to find a whole bunch of free-loving spirits like me who love adventure, who love variety, who want to go out and change the world, and I'm going to recruit them. And you know what? I did. I went out and recruited like an absolute machine. Now, some of you might be old enough to know the fallout of that. No, some of the people that were in the team were fucking weird. And I say that in the nicest way possible. They were hippies. They were free spirits. They loved it. They were not hungry for this vehicle. Okay. They were so flaky. They were up here in the fifth dimension, just loving life, but they didn't actually want to do anything. So I had to readjust, and I had to think, okay, cool. Well, I love spiritual people. I love the conversations that I'm in. I'm loving the connections that I'm having. But when I try and transform that into my business, it's just not working. I'm not getting that people that really wants to run with me. They're mucking around on calls. They're, flaking me off. And it's not really what I want. So I had to readjust. And I thought, okay, cool. Well, if I'm not going to find my spiritual tribe, what's my other thing? What's my other thing that I want to build from this? And that's why I'm really heavy in spiritual stuff in the program, because I find it important on a base level. But when we talk about building business, we're building business. We're building wealth. We're building abundance. We're creating something beautiful. And that's when I went back and I thought, you know what? My tribe is mums. My tribe is women who are out of options. Women who have been at rock bottom or very close and have decided that this isn't the way that I want to see my life. And I realized that that's my niche. That's what I wanted. I got women in at that stage who were just ready to work, who found this, who were hungry, who were determined, And again, too, if you look at it that from two marketing perspectives, two totally different ways that I approached my business. My posts when I was trying to attract my spiritual friends were very different to my posts when I was trying to attract my hungry mums. I had to get a lot more vulnerable. I had to share a lot of my mess. I had to put it out there when I was trying to talk to the mums because I really wanted to show that I was relatable. So when we look at this and we're looking at the tree that you want to grow, and I mean, this is cool. If you're still looking at this, like you might be like Sue, I'm not sure if she's found it yet, but like Sue and Cheryl, who were kind of like, I don't think I know what I want to do yet. That's okay. I don't expect you to be like, cool, yep, I've got it, this call. I know it's in there. That's why I call bullshit, because I know it's in there and I know you're hungry and I know you can create something amazing from this. It might just take a little bit of coaxing. You might have to do a little bit more work on it. You might have to think about it. You might have to look at your life and think, well, who would I really like to work with? Who would I really like to impact? And that's okay. It's going to grow and it's going to expand and evolve just the way it should. But if you already know, okay, cool, I want to work with mums. I want to work with dads. I want to work with people who have gone through substance abuse, whatever it is. I want you guys to think right now, well, how do I build my business around that? How do I spend more time getting in front of those people? What posts should I be putting up to attract them? And for future references, I'm not saying go out and do this now because it can waste a lot of time, but for future references, what brand would I create around that? Ooh, now we're really talking business, right? What brand would I create around that? What would the name of it be? What would my color scheme be? I remember getting on a training with Ange once, and she talked to me about the fact that she had a whole brand palette. She had the fonts that she would use in her Canva. She had the color scheme that she would use in her Canva. She had her logo sorted out. She even had like the filter preset so that all of her pictures would look the same. Now, of course, this is all crazy stuff. You don't have to worry about this right now, but it just goes to show the people that are doing well, they're doing well on purpose. They're just putting that extra little bit of thought into it. And then they're turning around and telling us what they're doing. So if I can do that for you guys a little bit, get really clear on actually treating this like a business. So I freaking love that. Do it. Do it. Is that going to be that's going to be your brand name? Old bitches with muscles. You should do it though. Honestly, do you know how fun that would be? Like, I remember one of my teenies first, right? Desi. You guys know Desi. Now, Desi was just so like, different to everything else that was doing. And she was so annoyed that everything was diet related. And her whole brand that she came up with was called the Curve Collective. And it was all about embracing being bigger and loving it, and that it's okay to be the size that you are, but it's also okay to want to do better. And it was brilliant. It was so perfect. And she created her own logo. She created, a panel of pictures that she would rotate. And when she was actually treating it like a business and had her ads running and things like that, that was how she was getting massive amounts of leads in. So have a think right now. This is why I say to you guys, and this is why this is next level, right? Because we can teach you the basic bitch things. We can teach you, connect to people, share to people, get them to an event, get them in front of your upline. That's what it works. Connect with people, share things, get them to watch an event, get them in front of an upline. Now that can get you far out, I think all the way up to NMD. Okay? But if you really want to take this into a 6-figure business, you need to go bigger than that. You can't physically source that many people by just having one-on-one conversations in groups or with your friends or whatever it is. You have to be able to leverage your time and create a brand or create a movement or create something that's a little bit different that's going to attract people in. It's got to be something bigger than a fruit and veg capsule. Yeah. Now, why I'm saying this, being different is absolutely okay. Being different at this time and age is celebrated. That's why having something different, like old bitches with muscles, I can guarantee will take off so quick. Like Desi again was the one who told me, because when we're talking about that, I said, you know, what's your favorite group to go on at the moment? Let's get a little bit of an idea around what your favorite group is, and that will be your people. And then we can try and work out from your people what your brand could be. And she said, ball bags and handbags. And it just blew my mind, because I was like, is that actually a group? And she's like, yeah, it's a group on Facebook. It's my favorite. We just talk shit all day. And I was like, okay, well, how can we go from that? But, you know, it was awesome because that was so niched and it was her people. And then we just found a way to filter it through. So I love that it's different and that it's a little crazy and it's a little abrupt, because at the moment, that is what people want. They love being different. They love feeling celebrated, and they love being around their own people. So how can you make something like that and lead people into the funnel? Now, while I'm telling you all this, I also want to encourage you guys, building your brand, and I say building your brand, is not a high-paying activity. So what? That sounds really contradictory, doesn't it? But you can go out right now and you can create an amazing logo, all this cool content, everything beautifully, which is like a sinkhole, right? Because it's fun, it's creative, you're just going to keep doing it, but it's not actually getting the wheels in motion. What is a high-paying activity is talking to people, sharing. So when you're building your brand, build it in the stolen moments, especially if you're not up to, say, an SSC level. Because like I mentioned, all the basic bitch stuff, connection, sharing, getting them to an event and getting them in front of your upline in that order, that will get you to QNMD. But like I mentioned, the brand is the next level. It's the bigger thing. So keeping that running in the background and building and evolving and changing with you is beautiful. And if you've got enough time to throw yourself all in this business, do it all. Do it all. Do the brand, do that connection sharing event upline. Do that as many times as possible and build the brand in the background as well. But don't just focus on the brand from here out, because your business will go like this. Because you're not actually walking your feet. You're just building something pretty. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Doesn't sound like a total hypocrite move. It's necessary, but it's not oxygen right now. Oxygen right now is keeping your feet moving and pumping the funnel, because you need to keep pumping the funnel to then be like, hey, look everybody, here's my brand, come over here. And now they're all over here inside your brand. But if you're just like, hey everybody, where are you? Here's my brand, come love me, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, was that the best analogy ever? Hopefully. So with that, what does your brand look like? Who do you want working for you? If this was the brand, right? So the Soul Project was a big building that I owned. Who would I be signing up to be the greeter at the front door? What would this person look like? Who? Yeah, Sue. Bad bitches with muscles. That would be it. At the front door. Who would be on reception? What would they look like? Who would be my team leaders? What would their personality traits be? What would their values be? Now, what would their values be? Deconstruct that. Where would I find them? You know, if I wanted a beautiful, cheery, lovey, friendly, passionate person to work on my reception, to make everyone feel safe and cheer-led and happy, where would I find this person? The ball bags and handbags group. No, just kidding. But it would be somewhere fun, right? It would be, you know, like maybe I'm almost contemplating Maybe it would be one of my plant pages because she's nurturing, she's loving, she loves watching things grow. I'd be deconstructing it. Where would my team leaders hang out? How could I get in front of them? Would they be people that run the daycares or the mums groups? Would they be the people that are, oh, sorry, it's telling me my internet's unstable, so hopefully you can still see me. Would they be the people that are running the sporting groups, right, that I'm sending my kids to? Should I get in conversations with them? Should I be talking to them more and sussing them out to see if they can be the team leaders in my soul project building? Because my mind right now, I'm treating my business like a business and I'm setting it up to become an NMD. I'm building a foundation. You're right, gorgeous. Now, lastly, before we leave, and I'm going to wrap it up with a bow on, if you were the CEO of your brand building, whatever it looks like, would you hire you to be a CEO or COO next year? Would you look at your work ethic and go, you know what? Hell yes. I want her in charge of running everything every day. And it's a really honest thing to get into, right? Because there might be areas where you think, I would probably bitch about the way that I never turn up to anything on time. I would probably bitch about the fact that I can't get organized. Might have a little bit of a bitch about that I'm always making excuses about important things. There's little bits and pieces in there, and I find that this is a really important question because it gets us to reflect on where do we need to become better so that we can run this brand of ours, so that we can attract the six-figure income and be worthy of it at the same time. Now, that is not an open door for you to beat yourself up because of the areas that you shit. Trust me, we all have shit areas. We all have areas that we need to work on. That last question of would you hire you to be the CEO, it's just a reflective one to go, okay, where do I need to take ownership of? Where do I need to maybe be a little bit better? Where do I need to put more hustle in? Where do I need to be more in track of my numbers? Where do I need to be better at customer care? Following my procedure, knowing what my system is for new people, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so use it as an empowering question to tomorrow show up as the person that wants it, because we need to flip right on back to the reward. Why? Why in 5 years' time? Why do I need tomorrow to turn up as that CEO and start building this baby? Because I'm going to be my own boss, because I'm going to have that time freedom, because I'm going to be on the road and own my own glorious house and do all of those things that I wanted to do and that we talked about right at the start. So we need to chat. I will give you like a game plan of, okay, right now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go and talk to this many people. You're going to follow up this many people and give you a little bit of a pep talk there. Because honestly, if you have hours to burn, fuck, you're in the best position with this business. Get really clear on what your system is. And I'm just going to share that system again, because this is what created, I didn't build the soul project until I was almost a QNMD. I had it in the background of what I wanted to do, but I didn't build my brand until then because of the system that I had was working so well. That system, connect with people, be kind and loving and talk to anybody who will listen. Have a connection, genuine connection. Share the shit out of your journey. Get excited, post, go live if you want, I don't care, but post, share your journey. The next one, get them to watch an event. Get the opportunity in front of them so I don't have to explain it, because at that time, I was probably going to fuck it up. Let's be real. Get them in front of an event that had better people on it than me. The next one, Get them in front of my upline. Social proofing that this works. Yes, you might love me. Yes, we might be friends. Here's somebody who knows more. Here's somebody who's had the success. Here's my future. All right, that getting them in front of an upline is so important. So again, connect as much as possible. Share as much as possible. Send out as many events as possible. In the next order though, don't just send events to random people. And then get them in front of an upline. Cool. Maybe we'll do a micro training on that in Mojo Movers if we haven't already. Actually, I think Loz did, didn't she? Around asking permission and that kind of stuff. But anyway, different thing. But yes, expand on that, see what works, keep the conversations rolling and utilize as many hours as you can. Just don't burn yourself out. Remember, you still need time to wear the mum hat. You still need time to wear the daughter hat, look after your mama bear. You need the time to, gym hat, business hat, friend hat, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So does anybody have any questions around any of that yet? Feel free to. I'm just going to quickly tie a bow on it so that we can go again. Know that there's sacrifice. Know that there's reward. Have a 5-year plan. Know exactly what life is going to look like in 5 years from now. And I'm going to say 5 years from now because every single person on this call probably needs to get back into action, myself included. Yeah? Balance schmalance. Don't try and have balance in your life. It won't happen. Instead, have moments where you know what hat you've got on. I'm in my business hat now. I'm going to put all my effort into my business. I'm in my partner zone right now. I've got my partner hat on. I'm going to be a good wife or a good partner. Okay, I've got my mum hat on now. I'm going to be a good mum. And try and get the clocks in the chunks of your day around your 5 paying activities. So Monday, I'm going to spend an hour or half an hour connecting. Tuesday, I'm going to spend half an hour doing great customer care. Wednesday, I'm going to spend half an hour going through and inviting people to events and catching up on trainings they might have missed. Thursday, I'm going to follow up. Friday, I'm going to go back to connecting. Okay? Having that little bit of structure is amazing. And it will make you feel like you're actually ticking things off. And then in any other stolen moments, do what needs to be done. Yeah, and then the third one, treat it like a business. Know that this has to evolve from a Juice Plus franchise. And that's a beautiful thing. It has to turn into something amazing that has so much beautiful value, that has so much you. You can't hide behind Juice Plus forever. You're going to have to step out there and be seen at some stage, and that's amazing because everybody on here has so many beautiful things to give the world. Tony, it's a really different thing. Yeah, I agree with Vicky. I wouldn't let it go any more than 3 days. 3 days is just awkward. 2 days is ideal. But when I do it, I just keep it there at the end of the week, because if I'm connecting at the start of the week, I'm still probably continuing on those conversations, right? In my stolen moments, I'm probably still. But by, say, Friday, what I'm looking at is who do I need to send the message to say, hey, babe, just random message. I'm just popping some orders through. I just wanted to know if you were keen. I know we talked earlier in the week that you had A, B, C, D. No pressure. But while I'm here in front of the computer, I'm just seeing who I can help. Something simple like that. It's more of an intentional follow-up. When I'm running it business and I'm running business ads, I don't let it go any more than 2 days. Ideally, it's 24 hours because I want people to know that I'm on the ball, that I'm efficient, and that I'm treating this like a business. But if it's just my friends, then generally a little bit longer. Okay? Yeah, and treating it like a business, if we were to take it up a level, what would it look like? Who would I be impacting? Who would I be hiring? Where would they be hanging out? And would I be recruiting myself? Would I be putting myself at the helm of the ship? Cool? All right, guys, thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm so excited to bring this NMD to life and to see so many of you create this life because it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful on the other side. I know sometimes the sacrifice can seem crazy, and it's definitely got its ups and downs, but it is so wonderful when you get to the other side. So keep pushing, keep growing, and I'm excited to see everybody kick ass.